Had a basket of food left over himself. What a remarkable parallel story. What is happening here? These images and subjects of the Old Testament suggest that Jesus is fulfilling the recreation image of Israel's sacred past. He is a figure who haunts back to the great historical figures, Moses and Elijah. Who knew God's power was imminent? Like the first three Gospels, Jesus alone distributed bread and the fish to all the 5,000 and fed them. How many eager and hungry people were happy? John's point is to underscore that Jesus provided the food. The source of life for these people was thus far the rebirth, the living water, and the healing that was to come. The crowd interprets Jesus' miracle by saying it was Masonic. He has just recreated the miracles of Moses, they said, to identify him as the prophet who came back into the world in verse 14. No doubt the reference was from Deuteronomy 18:15 through 19, which prophesies that the prophet, like Moses, will someday return. This was the view of the Jewish people and the Masonic promise. The Jews of the Dead Sea community expected a prophet to come in their Masonic vision. For many, Moses had become the image of the ideal Messiah and the image of the king and prophet. So they tagged Jesus as Moses. But most said, and they tried to put the miracles at this wording. Immediately, Jesus made his disciples get up, get into the boat, and go ahead of him. While he was dismissing the crowd, he snuck off. After leaving them, he went to the mountainside and prayed. Why did Jesus leave them sitting there? Why did he take his disciples and send them off? Because the people said they wanted to force him to become the king. They wanted to take him by force off the mountain and make him king, ruler over all. They were looking for a Messiah, a king, somebody to be in charge. Jesus says, that's not me. I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to allow them to seize me. I'm not going to allow them to tie me up. I'm not going to allow the devil to snatch me away. Because the devil is in those people, in their hearts. And when the devil gets in your heart, you are capable of snatching people away. He said he will not be tempted by the kingdom of the world. So he must flee and must push his disciples out to sea in order to preserve his work from the crowd. So as we look at the story today, it's the feeding of the people, the poor, by Jesus breaking the bread and giving it, breaking the fish and giving it. It's the same story we have in the Lord's Supper, by taking the bread and breaking it and taking the fruit and drinking it. Jesus was making an example for us to follow. So we're going to do the Lord's Supper. And as we ask the ushers to come forward,